Do you remember when we like first met? Like, I remember like
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was on Instagram or like I remember we were like scheduled like a call. But I remember like hopping on like a Google call or FaceTime
Yeah.
like the first time we like
Yeah.
talked and just getting to know each other. But yeah,
Yeah.
what was your?
I feel like I remember like the in person more than the call.
Mm,
I think I was like, I feel like I'm always really nervous to meet like new creatives
mm,
because like truthfully, I feel like I'm so hard on myself. So anytime I like meet someone that like I really admire what they're doing or like I want to work with them, in my head, like I'm trying to fight the demons of like they don't see you as worthy. Like so I'm like always so nervous and like feeling like I need to like show myself in some specific way. But I remember when we first met, it was by Lake Nokomis.
mm.
And I was like climbing trees and shit. Oh wait, can I swear?
No, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Wait, you talking about like when we did the your
Um,
cover art photo?
yeah, for
Was that the first
anyways.
one?
Yeah.
I guess it was because we did that shoot before shooting
Yeah.
the music video. So yeah,
Yeah.
because I was thinking about what was the first project you did, but I totally forgot about
Yeah.
that to be honest.
Yeah. And I just remember I thought you were just like so cool. And
Thank you.
I feel like our like ideas bounced off of each other really well. And my vision that I had for that shoot, like when you would show me them, was like to a T exactly what I wanted at the time. And so it was like, I feel like it was just like flowing really naturally and I felt really like inspired throughout it. And I was
Sure.
like, yes.
Yeah. No, yeah, I
Yeah.
was so excited to, I think what I really craved around that time too was like wanting to meet more artists. And I'm constantly meeting artists
Yeah.
in here in Minnesota or other places and trying to figure out like if we're a good fit because I feel like I really resonate with artists who have like a specific, I don't know, the way that they operate because
Yeah.
I feel like I'm also like an operator person
Yeah.
and it's like also creative. So like
Yeah.
if someone is somewhat similar and our flow is like a lot better and like seamless. So
Yeah.
you're like one of those people. Like
Yeah.
I honestly like tell like a lot of people like, oh, like Daphne's like one of those people that I can always want to work with because it's so seamless because there's not a lot of friction
Yeah.
and I think it's because we're both like empathetic people and
Yeah.
we can understand each other really well.
That's
So,
really sweet. I feel like
yeah.
it's like the like left brain, right brain of it all.
Yeah.
Of like like knowing things like need to be in order and like a certain way. So there's like a specific like detail orientation that like
For sure.
is very important to me, but then to like flow into the creativeness of it all and like combine those.
Yeah.
I feel like I oftentimes really resonate with creatives who also are like a little bit like, dare I say, anxious, and also creative so that they combine in a way that it's like, we know what we got to do and like we have everything set up and everyone's taken care of and is like feeling good. And so knowing that like everyone's feeling good and you have a part in that is also, I feel like, the best environment to be able to like create together when there's like kind of like a safety net of like space surrounding you. Yeah.
And two, I feel like throughout all the projects we've like worked in, I kind of know what kind of environment you like to be in. So
Yeah.
like, kind of whether that's like getting crew members that are value the inclusivity or just like comfortable to be around, or whether that's like concepts and stuff. I always like double check with you, like, all right, is this align with you? Like,
Yeah.
But I'm also like not afraid to like pitch something to you and be like, all right, is this cool?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
And I really respect that. Like, I feel like you are really good at like, at leading in a way that is really like always like on a team movement. And I never feel like you are like taking control. It's always a very much like a fluid operation of like, I have this idea.
Yeah.
You have this idea, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah, that's how I like to work.
Yeah.
But I guess tell us, like, people that are going to be listening, like,
Yeah.
I guess who you are and like what do you do in a broad sense of terms, I guess.
Yeah, totally. My name and my artist name is Daphne Jane. I am a singer-songwriter. I feel like in the past, I would definitely describe my genre as more like indie pop, but with like my new project, I'm definitely leaning more into like dream pop and kind of like expanding a different horizon that I'm really excited about, and feels like very much more me as an artist than ever before. So yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter, creative, fashionista, really love it.
Stylist.
Yes, stylist. I really love it
Yeah,
all. I love to
sure.
like create a little world with music at the center of
Yeah,
it.
that's what I really appreciate. Is like you already have such a like good eye and taste for things already, and then you can kind of build that to your own artistry. And
Yeah.
I like really, really respect that because a lot of artists don't really have that.
Yeah.
And I think yeah, you do a really good job with that. And then
Thank you.
yeah, I guess from cause I think when I first met you, you had said like your music journey obviously has I don't know, you've had like kind of not like a shorter, but like you've been like kind of like singing, and then you kind of started taking it more seriously in the more like I guess what recent years.
For sure.
I guess like take us through like that how you or, in the past when you started making like music or noticing that, and then like to where you are now, like what has that journey like been like?
Like from the start of it.
I guess like when you started noticing like singing was something that like,
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
When I was like 10 or 11, I really wanted to play guitar. And so my parents got me a nylon stringed guitar to learn on. And I started like teaching myself. I would like stay up late. Like my fingers would bleed from the nylon strings, which was crazy because they're like softer on purpose. And at the time I was learning like Taylor Swift, etc., because they were like the easy chords to just get the basics. And then I started writing definitely as like a coping mechanism. I grew up in a really small town, and so throughout middle school and high school, I definitely used music and writing as kind of my like form of escape. For a while, especially in high school, I would write like so many songs about like living in a city and like what that was going to be like and like getting out of the bubble I was in, because that was like my dream, and to look forward to that in this art form and like romanticize what my life could be like after I got out of the bubble that I was in was genuinely like so helpful to survive being queer and being literally anything besides what you were supposed to be in that town. I'm like so grateful for music for that reason. And so yeah, I was writing. I would do like this like rock camp every summer.
Fun.
Yeah, which is actually honestly like the kickstart of like, oh my God, like being on a stage with an audience and like being the star in the center and being able to like dance on a stage was definitely like, oh my God, like I love this. And so to have that opportunity, I'm so grateful for it because it really like kickstarted dreaming about it in a realistic way. But then I would say I continued to write. I did an album with a local person who like produced this whole album, which is under a different name, in high school, of like a bunch of songs that I made in high school, which is so sweet. And then I continued writing throughout college and did a few albums with this guy named Ethan Dietz. He's amazing. He's like a family friend and amazing producer based in LA now. And we did a bunch of projects together, and I always loved it and kept writing and kept wanting to produce things. But I think it was really instilled in my head that that wasn't like a realistic career path. And I think just the messaging of like, you should not study something creative or pursue something creative because the financial aspect of it is not going to pay out. And like, I also wanted a family. And so I was just like, oh, you can't do that. So I studied family social science in college and graduated, and it was COVID, so I went to grad school for a year. And during a year of going to grad school, I felt like every day I would look out the window on my commute back home, and like, it sounds so corny, but I would just like look at the sky and literally be like, I just felt so depleted creatively, and I felt like I wasn't listening to like my like deeper self in what was going to like fulfill me in life, to like really like branch out and look at the bigger picture of like what life and like what I am meant to feel and what I want to feel and what I want to put out there. And so I made the decision to drop out and kind of truly pursue music in a way that I hadn't prior, and had to kind of let go of those inhibitions and fear of like, what if I don't, and had to lean in the like, what if I never try?
Yeah.
And so then I started trying and creating more, especially like music videos, visuals, trying to put out like more frequently and just try to promote myself in whatever ways that was, which is a lot of times
Yeah.
social media in this day and age.
Sure.
And yeah, I think with this new project, there's yet another like shift within myself as an artist in the way that I'm like planning on promoting it, and kind of like the passion that I feel
Sure.
for it feels so different than anything before, in the sense that I just feel a lot more involved with everything that's being put into it
Yeah.
in a way that is really exciting. And I feel like a sense of pride that usually in the past has been overrun by like self-critique. So I'm really trying to ride feeling proud and being okay to feel proud and excited about something that like really truly feels like me as an artist without walls of what I feel like I am supposed to stay into.
Right.
So yeah,
that's great. No, thank you for that description. I feel like, you know, I've always like brought this up too, but like, oh, like you're constantly like evolving. You're always sharing music with me. I'm like, this is better than the last one.
Yes.
And you know, we always like talk about that as well, like how your music is evolving, but now you're, you know, with this new project, I feel like you're, you know, maybe thinking or like, you know, feeling different things about it, or the way you're prepared or expressing yourself through this new one is like, I feel like is always aligned with like every year you're always like, I don't know, like shifting or trying something new. And I think that's what I really like admired about like as we work together throughout the years, like, oh, like each one is like always better and really authentic to yourself as well.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious too, because when you did say you like kind of like made that shift throughout your career to like drop out of school, like was there any like outside voices was like, I don't know, you know, like what was that like maybe like publicly or like maybe privately with your family or close friends, that, you know, were they supportive from the start, or were they a little bit cautious?
I think like initially bringing up the idea, especially like, because this was like an ongoing thing throughout the year of being in school. And so I think initially like mid throughout the year, when I brought it up to my family, it was kind of like, finish the year, see how you feel, like we'll support you no matter what, but like just kind of don't make any rash decisions type of thing, because it hadn't been that long. But I think ultimately at the end of the year, everyone around me, including like my family, my partner, my friends, etc., could sense that it wasn't working, especially even my classmates. I don't think it was like this huge shock to anyone, because I was voicing the frustrations and just kind of honestly like the sadness within it. And like I did not have the drive that a lot of my classmates had to like continue and fulfill this like journey to a career that was ultimately not going to fulfill me. And so when I explained it in the way of like how it felt in my truth, my parents were definitely supportive, in the sense of just like my mom, especially her username on like platforms is momager. So she is down. She is down for me to follow my dreams. And they've always believed in me and have told me like from a young age of believing in me and supporting my music. And so I don't think it was a surprise. And ultimately, I think it was supportive, especially in the relief that I felt after everything.
Right. They probably noticed like I know whether that was instant or gradual, like shift in your energy, your mood, and just like the way that you're showing up for yourself. I'm sure like they've noticed that and we're like, like we definitely need to support.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And not to say that like working full time and trying to pursue a dream is not like exhausting in and of itself. And I do have for sure numerous days where I'm like, what am I doing? This is like too much, or like I don't have the time or the money that I want to spend to like put all of this into this dream. And so, not to say that it's easy to shift paths and try, because ultimately you have to pay your rent. But I think that truly if I never did, I would always be in like the like what if in the back of my head, and I could not think about that.
I feel for the same way as like when I started like Foley Studios. You know, my journey was a little bit different, but I feel like I've always like worked for someone or worked in an agency or production company, and I've never really felt like I was in an inclusive environment or thought like my voice was heard. It's like I feel like now I can like be that change that I want to see with Foley Studios and kind of create that environment, or I don't know, support people in ways that I feel like I could have been supported.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things too where I feel like the same as you, where like it's kind of there's a lot of uncertainty to it, especially like being an entrepreneur kind of thing. I know the artist is in the same sense, you're kind of have to manage your own, your own creativity, but also the way that your albums and like shows, like there's a lot that goes into it, and managing it yourself is really, really tough. So no, I definitely resonate with that, and trying to pursue something that's not. I don't know. It can be successful, but it's. I think what I heard, I guess, like a quote is like anything that is great comes from risk.
True.
So you have to like take risks to see if there's greatness there, if you can pursue something that is great. So like that's I don't know. When I heard that, I was like, yeah, like that kind of gave me the motivation of like, there's like a lot of people who may see it as like, oh, like you shouldn't take that route, but I'm like on the other end of like. I believe in myself to take it, even though it might be rocky, to like see what comes, what comes out of it.
No, totally. I feel like lately I've been really just thinking about all that goes into like making an art a business and how those like coincide and what you kind of have to like constantly like pivot and rearrange to make your art and your passion and your creativity into a business is so much more than I think you think when you first start. Like there's just so much that goes into it and so much that you're constantly doing and like navigating and just like shifting and learning of like what is the best way to do this. And you have to be pretty intentional to not let it get to you and like to maintain the fun and like the passion within whatever art you're trying to create a business, or else I think it can like that's always the reason why I like didn't want to study music in school, because I was so scared that like getting homework in something that I loved because there wasn't boundaries around it and like I could do with what I wanted to do with it. I was so scared that like someone telling me I had to do something that didn't feel like innately passion for would like steer me away from
music.
From having it as like my safety, my like my outlet and what it meant for me. And not to say that like studying music is bad at all, because there's so much to learn always. But yeah, I think with making like an art a business, there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah, I feel like maybe people like looking from the outside in, they might see a lot of the aesthetics, the vanity stuff. Like they might see all like they don't really see like the behind the scenes of trying to, or the way that you're operating it as like a quote unquote business. But there is that sense of like when you are, I guess, taking it seriously as an artist, you kind of have to view it like that, because if you want to make it like a full-time career or at least sustainable. And I feel like with being an artist, it is very like emotional, like it can be draining sometimes. So it's like if you don't approach it a certain way, you can get like drained or burnt out really quick of like constantly trying to like output or do all these things. But if you don't have like you said, the systems around it, I feel like it could get a little bit like, I don't know, like shaky there.
Yeah, I feel like lately I've been really thinking about like the balance of attempting to not put as much emphasis on what other people are thinking about what you're doing, because like if you feel proud of it and you feel excited about it, to like really hone into that. But then there's always the double-edged sword of the more people who like what you're doing, the more successful you are at when you are making a creative art form, especially music, a business, or attempting to do it so that it can be a sustainable thing for you. That literally depends on getting people on board with what you're doing. So to balance like, I don't care what people think because I'm proud of this, and also like I want people to love it, and that also makes it so that I can keep doing this and like keep making more, to like balance those and not get in your own head of like criticism or feedback. Because ultimately, like, that is what you need and what is going to happen. I feel like I've really been in kind of a headspace of trying to figure out what's the sweet spot of balancing those lately.
Yeah, I feel like it's always like a challenge to, because obviously you want to build that community around what you're making, and people that support you, they ultimately gonna support you at shows or just like in general, or
Yeah.
you might your music might get spread to like more people. But
Knock on
yeah,
wood.
yeah, right. I feel like it's always like that kind of balance, and I think what also sometimes too is like maybe the perspective is like um, I don't know if it's regards to like social media, it's like more as like a tool to connect or a
Yeah.
tool to like get yourself out there, and if people are like the way that they perceive it, like you said, like you maybe not take that kind of like not like emotionally detached, but you have
Yeah.
to like whatever like people are saying, like it, I feel like at the end of the day it's yourself or your true support, your true circle.
Yeah.
And if it's just like some random person on the internet, it's like, well, I don't know you, so
Exactly.
yeah, it's like whatever. But
Yeah.
I think like I don't know, maybe yeah, just trying to maybe shift the perspective of kind of maybe like I don't know, like if you are posting, kind of like I forget the words, but like yeah, just kind of like compartmentalizing it a little
Yeah.
bit
Totally.
will kind of be helpful. But I guess like talking about like social media, I guess for like artists in like 2026, like have you like what are your thoughts on like social media or like marketing as an artist or like like you said, like if you want to be known, you have to be kind of connecting with people through in the virtual world and stuff sometimes. And
Yeah.
I know it can be like tough too because you might be posting certain things or trying to like plan for like a rollout, but like
Yeah.
how important is it for artists to utilize that to like help get there? I don't know, and it's also like branding too. I don't know if you
Yeah.
like kind of see yourself as like a brand, I guess,
Yeah.
or like it's just who you are authentic wise. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, how have you utilized social media and how do you view it as an artist?
Yeah, I think like over the years it's definitely shifted. And as many artists say, I also think there's like pros and cons with everything. Obviously, like the pros, they're like it is so amazing that a platform exists that you can reach people that you would have literally no way of reaching because of locality and whatnot. Like the way that you can post a song on the internet and people from across the world can hear it and see what you're doing is amazing. Like that's like ultimate way to get your art known. Like that's amazing and so cool. And also just to like find community. I feel like outside of music, social media, especially like growing up rurally and loving music and being queer, like I used social media to like find community and find like a space and safety and feel less alone on the internet. So like love her for all of that. Of course, the cons of like the oversaturation. It also can sometimes feel like a never-ending game. It's really easy for me personally to like get on yourself of like views and engagement and what that means for what you made and what you're trying to put out there is like you just automatically like it's really hard to not let that get to you. And so again, like the detachment from like wanting this community and wanting to make art for a community that you love and have been inspired by your entire life. Like that's amazing. And also really hard to not get in your head. And also it's a job in and of itself. Like obviously there's so many people who literally do social media full time as their job. And so I think when you are someone who is like trying to pursue your dreams but are working like elsewhere to then be like, okay, on my day off from my regular job, my rent job, now I'm going to like dedicate this day to this job because you kind of have to view it as a job. You have things to get done to like try to reach your goal. And so I think it definitely can get tiring and like stressful and a little bit like it's hard it's like resentful, I guess,
for sure.
of some of the energy and time some other artists have and whatnot, but that is the way of the world and the way of 2026 as an artist on the internet. And so yeah, ultimately to try to like be thinking about like, how can I promote this to also captivate something, a different sense, so that they like listen to my music, but I'm using this strategy of like sort of manipulation to try to get them to care. To try to like figure that all out is definitely not like my favorite part of like making music. But it is the way it is, and so alas.
It's so interesting, like how, I don't know, the image and the message and the storytelling kind of all matters of why people should care about listening to your music. And like the whole like branding aspect of it is like, I honestly like am not a big fan of that either, the way that you see it too, because it could feel like that kind of like rat race kind of thing of always maybe being transactional, like, oh, I have to give them something, I have to feed this machine, which is like something I've honestly haven't dealt with before, because like last year, and I don't know, maybe it was like an epiphany, but I was like, I've only posted like 5 or 6 times last year, and I don't know, in my head, like going into this year, I was like, maybe the reason why I haven't really been getting hired or people haven't been seeing me is because I haven't been posting consistently. So like this year was like a goal to like do it consistently and intentionally and authentic in my own way, but not have it be something that like is, I don't know, taking so much of my energy and space. So I'm trying to figure out where, I guess I'm like kind of strategizing, but in a way where it feels like organic to me, where it's like, all right, maybe I only do 3 times a week, so it's like I'm relevant and I'm posting stuff, things that are intentional, people can learn from, get value from, where it's not like I love making it and people love viewing it, and maybe, I don't know, that's like how I'm like viewing it now, and it's I'm just like also like noticing what other agencies or production companies are doing, and they might not be posting for, they might post like once every few months, and I'm like trying to go the opposite way, and maybe using social media as my tool to I don't know, like help other people and build the community. But like you said, I guess looking at it from that route as an artist, like that's, I can definitely like be, or like see it from your side, because it's like definitely a constant, and it's like a full-time thing, because you're balancing not just like your personal life and job, but this is like another, in a sense, job in itself.
I think the balance of it all is like the hardest part, honestly. Like the balance of time and energy is the hardest part. So I think like taking what you said of like, I've been trying to like every single time I have like a little idea for like the new project of like how I could like do this in a way that feels authentic to me and authentic to the project, but also like fun and exciting to make. I just like write it down. So I have like this little list of like different ideas of content for when like things start rolling, of like fun ways to make me feel like it's almost like a fun little like hobby and less pressure on myself and less like energy consuming in a way that is like not bringing me joy. So yeah, I think like balancing time and energy with everything is definitely and I was going to go back to your point of like the branding of it all. I think like I never view myself like as a brand, because ultimately like I feel like I just don't have the ego in that way of like to like be like, yes, I am a brand. It's like, this is my aesthetic niche name and this is my brand. But I think I've always just had like such a love for art in the form of like fashion and just like visual art. Like I've always just been obsessed with like music videos and concerts and performances and self-expression in so many ways. So I think like to be able to have that be a part of my music, like my personal style and how that flows with what I'm creating at the time, is honestly like for me the one of my most favorite parts, because it's like, you're telling me I get to like pick all these outfits and like dance in these outfits that I love and feel me in, and be like singing a song that like matches my visual that I was creating while writing the song, like to create and match those and then have it be brought to life. That is like so like I love that so much that I feel like all of the the tiredness sometimes and whatever, like, doesn't really matter, because in those times where like a creative project comes to life in a way that I had like literally dreamed of, I can't not be like so excited and filled with energy by it.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be like pretty fulfilling, and I don't know. I feel like I've been like hearing like this message like go around on social media, but like people who feel like I don't know who are pursuing something but feel tired about it. But like if you think about it, like years ago, like you're exactly in that position that you wish to be in.
Yeah.
So like sometimes it's like you have to just insert that gratitude from time to time, because even though it may be tired or stressful or you might have those like doubts certain times, you just kind of have to be like, this is why I do it. Yeah. And it's just kind of like one of those.
Yeah, the zooming out is necessary. Like so necessary. And when those moments organically happen without you like therapeutically making them happen, it's so beautiful to like be like listening to a song that I made for the first time in the car, and like being proud of it is just like so gratifying. And to just be like, oh my gosh, like my middle school self, like in my small town dreaming of like living in a city, and at that point like the biggest city I could think of was Minneapolis, because that's like where I had been. And so I'm like living in this like mega city, and now I'm like running into like gays at Trader Joe's. But to be like living literally my childhood dream and pursuing music and wearing what I want and living in a beautiful apartment with my girlfriend, like it's so pivotal to zoom out and be like, oh my gosh, like why are you so stressed? This is so fun and you love to do this. Yeah, I feel like even when you take all the pressure away, like you start to see like those things that you're really grateful for, and it's like part of your life. That's like, all right, it's worth it, or the journey's worth it. Yeah, totally.
And then going back to like, I know you said like, I don't know, like balancing life and your artistry, your job and stuff, and like working like together as like collaborators or other collaborators you've worked with. Like, how important is it to, I don't know, like work with other creative people and maybe kind of trusting them, or like in a sense delegating, because you have a vision or a collaborative vision, and like obviously like if you don't know how to do video or photo or like design and stuff, how important is it to like kind of like trust and delegate to like kind of, and then also collaboration, so your vision like comes to life?
I would say like it was definitely a learning curve for me. I definitely am like a slight control freak at times, especially like with creative visions of like, it's hard to stray away from like, oh, is that what I had seen? Like even just like colors. Like, I don't know if I saw orange in this song, or like something so like minute. But then I think over time, creating relationships with other creative collaborators, and like I feel like over the last couple of years, like together, I feel like I have kind of like, and you like created this sort of team that now kind of like there's definitely familiar faces that come together every time a project is formed, and to know that like every single time they nail it, they come with like a positive energy, we are all like bouncing off of each other and are all just like working together in like a beautiful way. It's become like so much easier to let go of that stress of the what ifs of like, what if something goes wrong? What if like this wasn't communicated exactly how I thought? Or like to let go of some of that control, because I don't know a lot of these things that other people have like spent their entire lives loving, and that's their like art. And so to like step back and trust and like build trust with such amazing local creatives has been rewarding in terms of like the projects that have been made from this like collaborative trust with like everyone involved, trusting each other. And yeah, like I feel like especially again with this new project, I was working with a new producer and even building trust in that of like, being in the studio has been a different experience because in the past I'd work like more virtual because of the distance of where we were. So working with like a local producer and being like in the studio and seeing things and being able to kind of like collaborate on like literal sounds and pitches has been also like another level of just learning, and also like seeing someone else what they are so good at and like amazing at, and being able to like combine our skills and our creative input to like make something together has just been like beautiful. And all the people we've worked with, I'm like,
that's amazing. What has been the biggest thing you've learned working with this new producer in studio? Like, are they like in a way where you like it, the feedback is like more, is it more like how do I say it? Like, even I don't know, like some producers, they might come off as like maybe like super harsh or straightforward, but do you see, I don't know, working with this new producer, like it being like, oh, like never thought about that way, or kind of like, I don't know, like calling you up to like do something like great or a different perspective kind of thing. I don't know.
I think like honestly the biggest difference is being in person for the whole thing, like having sessions where we're not doing vocals. So like technically I, as an artist and being like, wouldn't necessarily have to be there to be able to like make what we're making, because I don't know the buttons to press and like what instruments, how to like conduct like a fake violin sound. Like I don't know how to do any of that yet. I would love to learn, but to be physically there together in like a small room and be able to like verbalize, like bounce ideas back and forth has just been like so eye-opening. And like I didn't know how much I would love it because that wasn't the case in the past, just because of like distance. And so to be able to have that input that I didn't have prior has been literally so amazing. And also to then like be able to grow the confidence, even though I don't know how to produce a song, but to grow the confidence in like suggesting different ideas, and just even as silly as they sound of like, could this sound like wow, doing things like as well as I can to like be like, what if this? And to grow the confidence in feeling like respected as an artist, and to feel confident in sharing my ideas and they are like heard has just been like, I think it's grown my confidence as an artist like more than I could say. Like that's kind of like where the pride of this project is coming from too. And also the nerves, because it feels almost more vulnerable than anything I've ever released, because it feels like me to an extent that I haven't been involved with before. So then to know that like this is me so much as an artist is like so like, oh my God. Like I feel so protective over the project. But yeah, I think I've just like learned confidence through working with them.
Does this experience kind of maybe like broaden your like perspective of like what your sound could sound like in the future? Obviously like you made this new project, but now that you have like, oh, like I can actually like verbalize these ideas, like maybe you are by yourself and you're thinking about ideas and you can like bring that to the studio. Like does this open up like more of the floodgates creatively for you now?
Yeah, totally. I think to like release self-judgment too has been like to be able to just like do something without so much fear of what people would think, or like to grow confidence and then have ideas and to not be like self-doubting the ideas and be excited about them. Yeah, for sure. I'm like so excited to think about, to just like create different worlds for all these different like tracks and songs and ideas and projects. I try to not let the pressure of being excited about something also like overcome the creative process of like continuing to grow, of like not being like, oh, you're never gonna top this one now. Like that is like the little voice that creeps in. And so definitely also trying to allow myself to grow as an artist without expectations on myself that usually prohibit the creative process anyways.
Yeah. No, that's all great. I guess like you, I guess in this year, 2026, what are, I guess, some things that you are wanting to focus more on? And I know you like kind of talked about like kind of like seeing it as like a business now, or like, I don't know, like, is this year like, and it doesn't have to like, the question doesn't have to be like so much pressure, right? But like in a sense of like, what are you like focusing on like this year from last year, I guess?
Yeah. I would definitely say like utilizing social media in a way that, kind of bouncing off what you were saying earlier, I was like really resonating. That feels really authentic and fun and light, and kind of like just putting less thought and more thought into it in different ways. Like more thought into like strategizing like what works for me, what feels authentic to me, what is exciting about this song or this project that I really like authentically want to share. And then less thought as in like just sharing it and then being like, this like, if this engagement is great, great. If it's not that great, it was a good idea. Like I still liked the idea, and it was my idea, and it feels authentic. So like ultimately that's okay. And like I'm excited to release this project no matter like what the outcome is, because I'm excited and I made it and I feel proud of it. And so to put like less pressure with more thought kind of together, especially on terms of like social media, etc. Like utilizing it in a way that doesn't like make me feel like I'm hating myself is definitely the goal.
I think like that's what's really, I guess, how maybe some artists should approach social media or marketing themselves too. Like that is like exactly how they should like maybe start to approach it. And I feel like you've had to probably had a lot of like self-awareness to even get to this point to even think about how you're going to approach that. So like, you know, I think too, when you start like your journey as an artist, you do have to have like a lot of self-awareness of, I don't know, how you want to like you said, put your art out in the world and stuff. Totally. So that's such an important thing. For sure.
But maybe at times like I've had too much self-awareness. Like I have to dial it back. And it's so much easier said than done to be like, just have fun.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Don't care what they say. Like that's like the easiest thing to say, but the hardest thing to do. And so it's
also like discipline for sure.
Like a mental discipline. That's my therapist, she deserves every penny.
Right. No, I feel that. So you have a show coming up. I guess tell me a little bit about the show. Like, how did you get to headline? Maybe the people who are performing with you, and like maybe like artists too who are looking to like, I don't know, do their own shows. Like how's your experience like with shows, and then ultimately leading up to headlining your own?
Totally. I feel like the local Minneapolis music scene is really amazing and so full. I feel like a lot of the local venues are also really excited to promote local artists and bands. And so ever since I had started my band, I feel like the support from local venues has been like really kind. Obviously, I feel like musicians should be paid more and always like respected more, especially like the respect in terms of like the hierarchy of your level of respect like you deserve because of blah blah blah. Right. That's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to into politics of it all. But so I think like as time went on and momentum went on and you play more and more shows and people from different like venues who work there or like know people who work there, because the community is big but small. Like there's so many connections all the time. And so to headline 7th Street, I think this is my 3rd time headlining. But again, this time feels different to me. With this project, I wanted to have like a big celebratory show. And with making a project, like I don't necessarily yet know, like I know what songs they're done, but to fulfill the production side of things, like timeline-wise is still like just going with the flow a bit. So I'm excited for this show because it's kind of like a preview of what's to come, which is so exciting because it feels like very different from my past I guess, version of like my music. So this feels like letting people in of like a sneak peek of like, this is now the way I'm going. And so I'm really excited to just show new music and play a new set and kind of like give people insight on what I've been working on for the last year. And then I'm also really excited for merch. I feel like I've always wanted to be really like creative with merch and kind of bleed in like my own style and like brand, if you will, into merch. And so I've been crafting kind of just like different really fun ideas, which is me basically just literally doing crafts like all day long, but to make merch that feels like authentic to the project and me as an artist and like kind of like coincide everything, even like the poster design and a summer show. And like I'm so excited to like pick an outfit and have this merch and like create a playlist to play while people are waiting and to just create an environment that feels authentic to like an insight in what's been inspiring me and what's been inspiring the project for the last year. And I'm joined by Jojo Ventus Ninja, who is a drag king, who I saw at a Sapphic Social event perform, and he literally was amazing, and so I cannot wait to see. And then Lana Leone, who is an amazing local artist, and then also Harlow, also amazing, two great local bands that I've played with before, and I'm so excited to play with again. And yeah, I'm excited for the lineup, and yeah, I feel really excited about it.
It sounds like a lot has gone into it, but you're kind of reinventing. You're using this as like a platform to like share new stuff. So like everything on this set is like no one's heard.
There'll be some like classics.
Okay, yeah, you'll throw in some of
There'll be some classics. I mean, I've been like thinking about it. At my last show that I did, I played like one or two new songs, but I kind of did it in like a timeline wise of like oldest to newest type of thing. And there was this couple that came up to me after the show and were like, it was so cool because it felt like this like journey of how you've like developed and blah blah blah. And so I think that that's definitely something that I might lean into too, to like kind of bring a few that still are.
It's good to get that feedback because then you can like use it for future shows.
Yeah, so that's the plan as of right now.
I guess too, I don't know, what, people or artists who, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if did someone contact you to do that, or were you like reaching out? I know some artists, there's like a balance, like people who are wanting to, or they get booked for shows versus like people who are reaching out to get booked for shows.
Yeah.
I guess, what do people get wrong about like that process that people might not know about,
Yeah, you definitely have to advocate for yourself for sure. I think with the 7th Street headline, I messaged like way ahead of time, which is also like something that I don't think I would know if you don't like learn from it. But you have to like reach out way ahead of time, especially if you're trying to do something in the summer because of how booked venues get because of like touring. Yeah, it's festival season, if you will. And so definitely had to reach out way ahead of time and advocate and kind of create your own lineups. Like you have to have it ready. Like I'm wanting to do a headline in this time frame. I have these people who already said yes. I will make the poster. I'm going to get everything set up. Can I have a date? And like cross your fingers and then hope that all your bandmates who are also 20-somethings trying to do music and working a ton of other jobs are available for those dates. And to just kind of like constantly be managing and having everything ready to kind of like showcase, like, can I? You definitely have to advocate for yourself, especially as a small artist, even locally, to just, they're so excited to have you, of course, and like promote local artists. But you have to like be prepared and be that's the business side of it all.
Right. Yeah. I feel like people might not understand like, how you can't just get a show anywhere. You have to like, and you've probably been doing it for so long that you kind of understand that too about how the operations work a little bit.
Yeah.
So no, that's really, really good advice for people.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for hopping on this podcast with me. What I guess like what can people expect, what like out of Daphne Jane, what's next for Daphne, and then what do you have going on, coming up?
Yeah. There I'm about to start the rollout for the new project. So expect something new in June. I haven't released the date yet, but something new very soon in June that we worked on together. And then just keep an eye out this summer. I'm gonna be starting to like release some singles from the project. A lot of like amazing visuals that I like cannot believe exist from the project. And then my hope is to have the project ready by end of summer, early fall.
Sure.
So and my show is July 9th at 7th Street. So would love to have anyone there. Yes,
go
I would love that. So excited to what's to come, and it should be a very busy summer for me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a wrap.